Hello everyone, Capolo and Sarkhan here. Today we will go over my updates for the Blitz deck for Skirmish, still a Catalysher deck, still pretty close to the matchup strategy and guide list that I've done, and also at the end of the deck tech I'll update the strategy for the new 2 heroes Fi and Dromai. At the Skirmish I went 4-1 in the Swiss and I got this thing for top 8. In the Swiss I beat Katsu, Briar, Reiner and Bravo, and I threw away a game against Kasai. I could have blocked for one more, I didn't, and I had a win in my hand. So I played bad that round, but 4-1, and then in the top 8 I got Reiner and intimidated and I died. But it happens. I still believe this deck is really strong, and if you want to play a competitive deck list for Blitz season, please check out this deck tech. So our weapon is still Talisher, no changes here. The 2 changes I made to the list, I added Nurun Robe instead of the Best of the First Fist, and then I added a Crown of Providence instead of Arcanite Skull Cap. So if you go back to my strategy guide, just make changes for this, and this is for Wizard. The main equipment is the Crown of Providence with the Foundry Heart, the Achilles Accelerators, and the Goliath Gauntlet. If we play against Runeblade, I will play Nurun Gloves instead of Goliath Gauntlet, just because sometimes you want to pop the accelerators and you want the extra Arcane Barrier. If you have to block a lot, especially against Ninja, Benji or Fi, I recommend to play the Ironhide Gauntlet for hands and the Ironhide legs for the boots, so you can block 8 with your armor, which is really good. In the case you face Brute, your arms become the Gambler's Gloves, so you can counter the rolls. And then the last matchup is like Icelander and Kano, that we will go with the full Arcane Barrier. And we have Arcane Barrier 5, it's plenty enough. Most of the time we don't want to spend more than 3 to keep your game plan going, but in the critical turn it's good to have access to 5. This is the equipment. Let's now look at the cards in the deck. For the deck we are playing with 4 items. We're playing 2 Teklo Pounder. You start with the Teklo Pounder, and if you have time you can get the second one, otherwise you just use it for resources. And then the other item is we play with Teklo Core. This gives you 2 resources, which is really good to give you a lot of damage through. So you want to get this as soon as possible, because you can attack with a sword with this, you can attack with many of the 2-cost cards, and you can use the Achilles Accelerators to break them and have an X attack. So these are like the items we play. And to fetch the Teklo Core and the Teklo Pounder, we are playing the usual suspect of the Spark of Genius. This dash specialization, pay XX and search for your Mechanoids item with cost X and put it into the arena. So here are the items and how to get the items. Teklo Pounder is what makes the deck. Dash used not to be good in Blitz, and with Teklo Pounder now Dash is really good in Blitz. And I would play if I want to win a tournament. Then after that I want to show some of the red cards that push some damage. This is Over the Loop. If it hits, you put it at the bottom of your deck, so it prevents a bit of fatigue. We have 2 red Over the Loop. In similar sense, we have Combustible Courier, which forces your opponent to block, otherwise your next attack gets +3. I've had people not blocking this and get punished because the next attack was +3. Some other red cards that have on it effect is the High Speed Impact. If this hits, the next attack is Dominate. This is less relevant, but could be relevant. And also for resources reason, we're playing the blue as well of the High Speed Impact. Then we have the usual suspect of the 0 to 60s. We play with all 6 of them. Same as the 0 to 60, we play with the 6 Zipper Hits. This is probably my favorite card in Dash, and it's really good, so let's play some Zipper Hits. Then one of the changes, or probably the only change I've done since my last deck list in the main deck, is Throttle. We are playing with 2 yellow Throttle. I did cut the yellow T-bones for the yellow Throttle, and I actually liked a lot of having access to the yellow Throttle, so I've been happy about this change. Then, as I said, I mentioned T-Bone, I cut the yellow one, but we are still playing the red and the blue to pick off some equipment and deal like some boosting damage for free. And then the last cards that I want to show in the deck, we are missing 4 cards to see, are the big finishers. We have the red Overblast, that get plus X, where X is the number of times you boosted this combat chain, and red payloads. So this is my list. It's pretty like similar to the one you probably saw before. Yeah, this is what I've played, and I will play again if I had a chance to play in another skirmish this season. I would recommend you to play it. Now let's see the 2 missing matchup of strategy. Let's look at the 5 matchup. With the 5 matchup you want to block as much as possible while trying to do some cheap damage. So what you want to do is similar to what we did with Benji. You want to play the Crown of Providence, the Ironhide Gauntlet, the Ironhide Legs and the Teklo Foundry Heart. For the Dromai matchup instead you want to play the Crown of Providence, the Goliath Gauntlets, the Teklo Foundry Heart and the Achilles Accelerators. I think Arcane Barrier 1 is plenty. In this matchup you just want to race and try to get to the finish line as fast as possible before they can set up. You should clean up some of the problematic dragons, but most of them you can probably ignore them. And this concludes my Uprising Blitz deck tech. I hope you enjoyed this update and I wish you good luck in the skirmish season. I have a couple of series planned coming out in the future. For example, I want to do an item specific series for all the mechanologist items. 1 video per mechanologist item. I'll probably do an introduction video in the coming week. But for now, this is all I've got for you today. Thanks everybody for watching. I will see you next time. Bye bye.